Part 3 of the Dragon Ball Legends 7th anniversary will begin on July 9th, and the Legends information for that will be happening the day before on July 8th. Now, it's probably the best time to start getting my predictions out because I don't want to wait too long to the point where it's kind of too late. So I want to make sure I kind of get those predictions in while I still can, leading up to the Legends information, and then ultimately part 3 of the 7th anniversary. So today we're going to be talking about 3 ideas that I have, where one is a bit more realistic. The second option is still a possibility if they're willing to go that far based off the circumstances. And then one that would be absolutely spectacular, but I'm not really sure we're going to get just yet. So let's start laying down the groundwork. This is part 3 of the 7th anniversary. And ever since the 4th anniversary, every part 3 of the anniversary has always given us an Ultra unit. And the biggest indicator for that is if you go over to the Dragon Ball Legends Twitter accounts and you look at the posts that they've done for part 3, and you look at like some of the pictures that they uploaded that has volume 3 on it, the coloring style of where, it shows volume 3 is akin to how it is for the coloring style of the Ultra logo. So we already know, yes, it's going to be an Ultra unit. But putting that to the side, the real question is, who exactly could the unit be? Now, I do strongly believe that we've had some hints based off of the Zenkai that we got, if I recall correctly, some equipment that we got, and also the special guest who will be there. So, starting off with the Zenkai unit, the Zenkai that we got in recent time was none other than the Revival Final Form Frieza, which also I stand by saying that unit was great when he released, and the Zenkai that he got was also really good too. Obviously, that iteration of Frieza is from the Namek saga, and that's where he fought Super Saiyan Goku. So that's a big hint towards us potentially getting something in relation to that for the Ultra unit, right? But not only that, the equipment that we got as well, if I recall correctly, was also in relation to that too. And not only that, the special guest who will be there. Now, this special guest is a pretty big deal, just generally speaking, for Dragon Ball, right? It's going to be Hironobu Kageyama, who is the Dragon Ball music guy. I mean, this dude has made so many songs for Dragon Ball in relation to the anime and even the games. Like, naming some songs off the top of my head, we have obviously the one that he will be performing there, which is Chala Hechala. That's the main opening theme for Dragon Ball Z, if I recall correctly, from the Saiyan saga all the way up to the Cell saga. He did We Got a Power, which was the opening theme for Dragon Ball Z for the Buu saga. He did We Were Angels, which was the ending theme for the Buu saga. If we go into the games, he did, Kusuburu Heart Nihiwo Tsukero, which is the opening theme for Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. He's done Orewa Tokoton Tamaranai, which is the opening theme for Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3. He's done Super Survivor, which is the opening theme for Tenkaichi 3. He's done Battle of Omega, which is the opening theme for Raging Blast 2. Actually, I even skipped over one of my favorite songs from him. He's done Unmei no Hi, Tamashi vs. Tamashi, which is Gohan's theme against Cell, like the Japanese theme anyway, during the Cell saga in the anime. Like, there's so many more examples that I can give you guys concerning what he's done for Dragon Ball, right? This is the guy for the music. But when it comes down to Dragon Ball Legends specifically, he's going to be performing Chala Hechala. Now, the reason why that's important is, like I said earlier, that's the opening theme for Dragon Ball Z from the Saiyan saga all the way up to the Cell saga. Now, the reason why this is so important is because if it was going to be anything past any of that, he would probably be singing a different song, right? Like, if it was in relation to the Buu saga, I think he would more than likely sing We Got a Power. That would make a lot more sense. And also note that Hironobu Kageyama has done absolutely nothing for anything past Dragon Ball Z. With the slight exception, if you want to include the movies, of Battle of Gods and Resurrection F, because those are special exceptions. He didn't do any music for that. I believe Flo did for Battle of Gods. And I don't remember if Flo actually came back for Resurrection F. But still, the Buu saga is kind of the cutoff point. So when it comes down to him singing Chala Hechala, I'm thinking, okay, it has to be the first 3 sagas of Dragon Ball Z, but part 2 was Saiyan Saga. So obviously, we're not going to get something in relation to Saiyan Saga for the Ultra unit. Would it make sense? So, especially because we got Kaioken, Goku's, and LF, so that really wouldn't make sense. So now we're left with the Frieza saga, well, the Namek saga, and the Cell saga. The reason why I don't believe it'll be the Cell saga either is because, if I recall correctly, we already got Ultra Cell this year. That's the main antagonist of that saga. And not only that, last year, we got Ultra Super Saiyan 2 Teen Gohan. We have both of the main characters of that saga already represented with Ultra units. So it really wouldn't make sense for them to give us that when we already have it. And not to mention, in recent time at that. So it doesn't make sense for it to be Saiyan Saga, and it doesn't make sense for it to be Cell Saga. So just based on what we have available to us with the Zenkai unit and, Hironobu Kageyama being there to sing Chala Hechala, it only makes sense for it to be Frieza Saga, or the Namek Saga, as some might call it. So if it's going to be that, what can it be? So this is where we get to the Ultra predictions. The safest choice when it comes down to the Ultra units, if it's the Namek Saga, will be Super Saiyan Goku. Now, why is this such a big deal? Super Saiyan Goku, just in general, Goku turning Super Saiyan, is one of the biggest moments in media. Not just in anime, in media. It's been referenced in too many things to take note of. I mean, obviously some things would be shows, music, some movies. It's the list goes on and on and on. I could go forever about what that's been referenced in. It is one of the biggest moments in media. So to have that be the Ultra unit would be really cool, but there is something relatively conflicting with that, and it's the fact that in terms of an Ultra unit, we already have Super Saiyan Goku from that specific saga as an Ultra unit. But the difference with this is the first Ultra unit we got in Dragon Ball Legends was Super Saiyan Goku from the Namek saga, but he was a free-to-play unit. That's the thing, because the first 3 Ultras that we got were free-to-play units. It was Super Saiyan Goku, the Saiyan Saga, Vegeta, if I recall correctly, and Omega Shenron. So those were the first Ultra units, but they were all free-to-play. The first summonable Ultra unit was Super Gogeta from the Janemba movie. Really good unit when he released, by the way. So it would make sense if they went to redo that, because it's been a very, very long time since we got that free-to-play Super Saiyan Goku unit. And plus, the animations for those characters have completely changed from the beginning with Super Saiyan Goku all the way up to the current Ultra units, right? So if they want to redo an Ultra, I'm kind of fine with that. And it's not as if they're not opposed to redoing units, because we've already seen that happen with, for example, actually a great example would be LF Super Saiyan Goku from that same saga, where we first had the blue transforming unit, which was really, really cool, but his LF was really short. And then we got the redo of that unit, another blue Super Saiyan Goku from that saga, but this time he was just already on Super Saiyan, if I recall correctly, and his LF was a lot longer. So if they want to redo an Ultra unit, it would make sense to do it with Super Saiyan Goku for a multitude of reasons. But that's my safe choice for just if we're getting one Ultra unit. I would say right now it's probably Super Saiyan Goku. If we were to get 2 Ultra units, that's where things start getting tricky. Now again, based off of the circumstances, it makes sense for it to be the Namek saga, right? So they could give us Super Saiyan Goku paired up with final form Frieza, maybe if they want to do just regular final form or 100% full power or whatever the case may be. I could see that happen. It would make a lot of sense. And not only that, again, if it's Namek saga and we're getting 2 Ultras and you're really emphasizing having 2 characters that have interacted with each other within said saga, for example, with part 1 of the 7th anniversary, we had Goku and Vegeta, right, who did fight together. Granted, they have different forms, but they did fight together during the Tournament of Power. During part 2, we had Goku and Vegeta from the Saiyan saga. That kick-started their rivalry. So we had that pairing together, which makes a lot of sense. But and I guess they didn't technically fight together, but they're part of the main saga. So with part 3, if they were to give us an Ultra unit or 2 Ultra units, having it be Super Saiyan Goku and full power Frieza would be a cool combination, because 1, it would kind of encapsulate the Frieza saga, right, the Namek saga, but also it would give us a bit of diversity, because you have Goku who would boost, obviously, Sun Family, but what else? It would be Sun Family, and if they want to boost the saga as a whole, then they can have it boost like Frieza Saga Z, it's Frieza Saga Z or Namek Saga, whichever one it's called in the game. But also you would have Frieza who would boost like powerful opponents and whatnot. So that would actually be pretty cool, right? I would love to see something like that. It would make a lot of sense. Surprisingly, I actually don't see like a fusion character happening this year, which feels so weird because ever since the very first anniversary, we've had a fused character in the anniversary, right? And I've listed it multiple times. I mean, year one was Vegito. Last year we had both of them. Like what? For part one, we had Super Vegito, and we had Gogeta Blue for part one, and then part three was Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. So it makes sense that if they want to kind of calm down with fusions, I think that's more than warranted, especially last year because we had 4 fusion units. Like even leaving the anniversary for the Legends Festival last year, we got a transforming Vegito Blue. So we pretty much got like all like the big forms of these fused characters last year, with the exception of like Super Gogeta. So I'm kind of fine if they're not really going to focus on fusions. Like I think that's more than warranted. They can take a break. But because of that, they're going to need something that's going to be able to retain hype. And that's, I believe personally, where Frieza Saga comes in. Because it's a really hype and really legendary saga for like just beyond Dragon Ball. But now we get to the last prediction that I have. And this is something that I'm not sure will really happen. But if it does, I'm all down for it 100%. So I'm sticking with the Namek Saga, right? I'm sticking with Super Saiyan Goku. However, they have been emphasizing that this is the biggest anniversary or biggest celebration that they've ever done because, you know, it's the 7th anniversary, big milestone, all that stuff, right? When part one started, they really didn't lead off that strong. Like I've said before, I think the character choices are fine. It's just that they didn't really come with anything special per se. It just felt like a monthly celebration, or a monthly banner, which is what it is. When we got to part two, that's when we really started to see changes, right? Because in part two, we got an entire new addition to the battling experience, right? Where they added dynamic area battles and they added overcharge and overdrive. And it's changed the way how a lot of people play the game because it's a completely brand new experience. That is a major difference compared to part one, right? So if they're gonna up the ante with the Ultra unit, even though a part of me is like, I probably don't think they're gonna do it just yet because it might still be too early. I use that very, very loosely. I would love to see an Ultra LF. This is something people have been asking for, myself included, for many, many years now. And now would be the best opportunity to add that into the game. And what would be like the best way to like kickstart that off? Super Saiyan Goku. Again, super legendary moment in just history, like concerning media. And we all know what he did against Frieza. They can make that look incredible with like a cool intro sequence and also a cool, if you will, well, I was gonna say Astral, but a cool finisher, right? So if they were to give us an Ultra LF and they're really emphasizing on how big the anniversary will be, having it be Super Saiyan Goku as the very first Ultra LF unit, where it kind of brings everything full circle, because remember, the first Ultra unit was Super Saiyan Goku, makes a lot of sense, especially if he's going to be the first premium Super Saiyan like Goku Ultra unit, because again, the first one was free to play, this one would be summonable. So of course they're going to have to make it stand out. That would be a really good way to do it. And if they were to do that, I'm going crazy on that banner. I don't care how many crystals I got to spend. I'm getting that unit because he's going to be cool. There's no way that he wouldn't be. But at the same time, I still feel as if they're probably not going to do that just yet. I would love for them to do it. I think that it's been long overdue for many years now, like many, many years now. But if they were to do it at any moment, this would be the perfect time to do so, where we get an Ultra LF Super Saiyan Goku from the Frieza Saga, where obviously his intro would be him transforming into Super Saiyan, and then his outro would be him doing Angry Kamehameha, I'm assuming, or something of the sort. Which also completely, well, unrelated, but something I would also like to see. One thing that Super Dragon Ball Heroes has done is they've added characters from obviously the anime where they do their like trademark moves, but they have the ink brush effect on it. I believe I put a post on Twitter, I think a few years ago, where they did Father-Son Kamehameha with Gohan, but it had the ink brush effect. Now, if they were to do that for Ultra LS, that alone would get me to ball out on any banner they ever release concerning Ultra LS, because they could just go the standard route and give us just, oh, you know, another angry Kamehameha and that's it. But if they add the ink brush effect, it would really like pay homage to the fact that Ultra units have ink brush effects for their card art animation. So like, I would love to see something like that added into the ultimate attack. It would be such a cool way to make it feel, you know, unique and diverse from other LF units, while also still having it be like relatively traditional with Dragon Ball Legends. So again, that's something I would love for them to try to do, but obviously we don't know what they'll do. But either way though, those are kind of my predictions. It is relatively safe, but it's because we have a lot of hints leading towards what to predict at this point. So I do believe that it's going to be Namek Saga. I do believe that we're going to get Super Saiyan Goku. I would honestly love to see it because I believe that character does deserve a premium Ultra unit. But of course, they could throw us for a complete loop and we could end up with Super Gogeta from the Broly movie, right? Or something else entirely. We don't know, but that's the whole point of a prediction. So I do want to know in the comment section below, what are your predictions for who the Ultra units or maybe Ultra units could be for part 3 of the Dragon Ball Legends 7th anniversary? Again, let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.